The plan today is, and tomorrow, we're going to reassemble the GTI and hopefully get the start up as well. But yeah, I've got the turbos over here. We've got all the gaskets and whatnot. It's a simple case of reattaching what we just took off. So if you check out the previous video, you'll know the sketch. We've got various washers, downpipe gasket, manifold gasket. What we've got to do now is swap over a lot of these lines onto here and get it all plugged up and do the DV reroute as well. We've got the diverter valve on here because it's a K03. We're gonna take that off, and if you look on a K04, it's just a blank piece of metal because there's nothing on there. But yeah, what we'll do first, do a little time lapse and get all these lines taken off. Right, so all the lines have been transferred over. There was one more cooler line that was on the car. That's off and now it's on here. It's quite straightforward. One thing I have noticed though is that the old turbo, I'm just thinking whether or not it's the original one. The reason I'm saying that, we've got some writing on here. In terms of play, there isn't too much like in and out play. Yeah, kind of just, it does scratch the outside of the housing in there, so maybe that's the reason why I was whistling. I don't know, all new to me. Right, so the car's up in the air. Forgot to close the door, but oh well. Thank you very much. Let's have a look. Put the light here. See if it's supposed to be magnetic, but can't find anything to magnetize it to. So there's a big gap there where the turbo was. Now we've got these little things which the sort of manifold sits in, which we'll take off. And then behind that we've got the gasket, which is what's going to come off now. So that's there. Okay. Okay. I was going to pull it off gradually and show you how it comes off, but it just fell off anyway. So yep, that's the block there without the gasket. So we've got a new one over there, which I'll go over to now. Wanted to see which orientation it was, but okay. All right. Well, it can only go one way anyway, actually. Get these and put these back on. Camera looks very orange for the last day or so, I don't know why. Alright. Maybe that holds it in place. Turbo bolts onto that, then you put all the lines. The only line that's left is this one, which is from the sump. So I didn't detach it from there because that would just be headache. The oil would just pour out the sump, so we took that one off the turbo. All the new manifold nuts here as well. So that was on the list. There's 5 at the top, 4 at the bottom. Right, so I'll put some of the new bolts on. The reason being, it'll hold that bracket in, because if you look with the turbo design, it kind of sits on this, so we can just rest it on, so at least, because it won't go fully in anyway, so at least we can rest it on top and then do the top ones as well. That's basically how it's done, so it'll kind of just sink in, if you know what I mean. It doesn't just, you know, sit flat like this. It kind of just slots in, so you'll understand anyway in a second once we get the old turbo on. Right, so the K04 is finally on the car after all these videos and talking about it. I'll show you now. It's a bit hard to film it going in, the angle and everything, but it is totally possible to do it through this method, as I may have said a few times. There we go, guys. So it's sitting on there right now. Alright, so all the manifold nuts are on. The top ones are studs as well, so got them. There's 5 across here. They are a bit tricky with the gasket and whatnot, it does move, but yeah, got it back on. Put these back on the top. Again, you can use a Jubilee clip, so with this one I'm going to replace it. I'll put this one on and then get it over this thing here. Attach this back on as well. Got a coolant line down here too, which we need to attach up here. Right, so all the lines and everything are all attached. The turbo itself, yeah, we're going to work on this bit here with the outlet pipe in a second, but yeah, for now what we're going to do, plug this back in. You've got to clip it onto there as well. These lines are all attached. Don't know what you can actually see on the camera, but just remember you've got all your bolts and stuff so you don't lose anything. Can label them if you want. I just took photos of them, labeled them on my phone. But yeah, put these two in. Of course, with the method we use, we're going to put the dry shaft back in. I will probably skip that because that all just depends on which way you're going to do it. You could just go back and see the way we took it off. But yeah, we'll get this on. Next, we've got to put this outlet pipe on, which is the one that's different with the K04. There's these little C-clamps that I'll show you in a second, but you've got the two Torx bits here. So this should go straight into there, in theory. Get a nice click with the C-clamps in on both ends, quite reassuring. Up there's done. You can upgrade this if you want. There's CTS and different types of ones. Intercooler piping, you can go for silicone as well. I'm going to tighten these all up, get them in, and then yeah, we'll do the exhaust, tighten this up too. Just basically give everything a once over. So what we're going to do now, we're going to move on to DV relocation. I know we've talked about it quite a few times in this past few videos, but we're actually going to assemble the little joiner and everything like that now. So we've got the bits required. It's all on that list. Just various few things. We've got the DV itself already, got a flange. To give it a bit more perspective, I think I'll show you the engine bay as well, because it'll make more sense now, even though I have showed you. So this pipe right at the start, if you remember, we're going to have a Jubilee clip and that going onto there. So the DV will sit here and there'll be that silicone hose going all the way to the intake. Still need to put the intake back on. We have got the sort of rewiring of the DV as well, which is this here. That's going to attach to there, and then there's the two wires from where the coil packs are. But yeah, let's just get started. Right, so we've got all of this assembled. Well, it's just a few joining hoses and whatnot. And what I've done also off camera is reassemble most of the other bits, like the intake. I've got the MAF screwed in again. I've got this coolant line down here in. Yeah, everything's basically attached. The coil packs are going to leave them off, mainly because it's related to the turbo and the oil feed, but we'll get to that in a second. So this is going to go here and route to there, like I said. Put one on here. It's all coming together now. The last thing to do, we've got to of course wire up the diverter valve. Now if you notice here, the coil packs are still disconnected. Now the reason why we disconnect the coil packs is when we start the car up with the coil packs disconnected, we can have the oil cycle through and of course into the turbo. There is of course two wires coming off that. One is for the N75, one's for the diverter valve. So that is normally shoved down there. So this wire is normally shoved down there because the DV is on the turbo. But because the DV is up here, we have to use a wiring harness or extension. So what you do, plug this into here. You can of course shove the wire wherever you want. It's going to go into this one here. Now there's another thing with the K04 swap that a lot of you guys will be thinking, because we're looking directly at it, is taking off the inlet. Now of course you do that to put the new injectors in, the S3 injectors, which are needed. And as I showed you in the first video, we have got those, the K04 injectors. The reason we're leaving them off is because the injectors are going to get cleaned at RTEC when we map it. So they're going to pull the inlet off anyway. And it just saves us one task to do now, because we can't drive around. We're not going to be driving on boost anyway until the car's mapped up. It's going to be mostly parked up anyway. So we're leaving the standard GTI injectors in there. And on the 8th of July when it's at RTEC, they're going to do an inlet clean and injector clean, and they'll put the S3 injectors there. So that should just clear up any confusion there. Also of course, before we start it up, you got to remember, you got to put coolant in. There's no coolant at all in this car. So once we've done that and I shove the wire down, yeah, we're going to get the first start up. Alright, so just keep doing this to get some oil around the system and the turbo. Alright, so now we're going to plug them in. All go in now. All in. First actual start of the K04 GTI. K04 GTI back into life. Well, first time it's into life. Tone is fairly similar. I mean, apparently the K04 sound a bit different. But we're in here anyway. A few lights on, everything's going a bit crazy. The time is all wrong because the battery was disconnected at one point. All good. Got the forge heat shield on. You can notice a bit of smoke there. It's nothing to worry about if you do get it when you've done your K04 swap. It's just oil and dirt that was just remaining off because the turbo was off the car for a while. Exhaust some more tucked in now as well. All running good. But yeah, the K04 GTI is finally complete. I know we still got the injectors and the inlet to do, but yeah, the whole sort of conversion is complete in terms of taking the turbo off. Thought I'd come out there, it's quite noisy. Yeah guys, finally done. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you did enjoy this mini series. Still a lot more stuff to come on the GTI. We're going to get it mapped 8th of July. Injectors will go in then. I've got brakes to put on the car, got suspension, all that good stuff. Yeah, just take care guys.